Om Shanti. Good evening, everyone,
Om
for
Shanti.
Wednesday Wellness. Om Shanti. So, today we are going to talk about power to tolerate and power to accommodate. We did touch base on power to tolerate a little bit, but before that, uh, we need to understand what is a power. When we hear the word power, we relate power to something like physical, like a physical strength, physical power. No, but power, a spiritual power, is more of an inner resilience that I'm building through peace, through practice of meditation, through silence, through reflection, through withdrawing. So that is the inner power. Sometimes people say that some wars are not won with physical power. You need an inner power. no? If you have one inside, you win outside. But to understand a spiritual power or to understand success in life is not just limited, it's not just physically that I need to fight people or I need to fight things. no? I am training myself with practicing different virtues. When I put these virtues in action, they become power. So, building of spiritual power is more of building my virtue bank because every power has a lot of virtues that we need to practice. So, when we talk of power to tolerate and power to accommodate, and many a times they go very much hand in hand, but there is a little difference. No? Power to tolerate is the foundation of tolerance is love, is forgiveness, is patience, is resilience. So these are the virtues that hold or that build tolerance in me. Sometimes we do also relate tolerance to frustration. Say, for example, if we have a coworker and the coworker is very noisy or speaks very loudly, and we say that, oh, I have to tolerate. Or if you're sharing a cubicle or office space with a coworker, and we might say that, oh, I have to tolerate what to do. But true tolerance is not just putting my hands up and saying, oh, I don't know what to do. It's not giving up. you know. Tolerance is not giving up. Tolerance is not, uh, or to tolerate doesn't mean that I'm holding on to that anger inside of me or holding on to that frustration inside and saying what to do. I have to tolerate. A classic example of power to tolerate is a mother, right? A mother tolerates everything for the child. So where there is love, we will tolerate. Where there is love, we will forgive and let go. So, power to tolerate emerges from love, or love is the one that sustains tolerance in me. So, now what kind of love? Love for the self, love for God, love for my peace, love for my well being. Power to tolerance also requires detachment, which is the opposite of attachment. which is the opposite of love. So love and attachment, even though it's used interchangeably, love and attachment, but they're two different things. Love is empowering, attachment is pulling the other down. Empower is weakening. Empower is sorry, attachment is weakening. Attachment is um, pulling. Attachment is creating a bondage, but love is setting free. So when we talk about tolerance, is more of understanding when I stabilize myself in my self-respect, I can tolerate anything. And then I don't complain or say that, oh, this one made me feel this way, or I have to tolerate someone insulting me, defaming me. We say, oh, what to do? I have to tolerate just because I'm in a relationship or just because, I need something. So, another point of checking is that when I am tolerating, this is something you can ask yourself. When you are tolerating someone or something, what is your hidden desire behind it? If I'm not able to tolerate it with love, if I am tolerating it out of compulsion, out of frustration, that means there is some ego at play. It could be arrogance, it could be low self esteem, there could be a desire. That's why I'm tolerating this person. So, really check if I'm not able to use love, what is the reason? So, tolerance truly comes out of pure love. And pure love will make me detached as well, where I am not entangling myself in the sanskar or in the behavioral pattern of the other person. I have the capacity to remain detached. I have the capacity to give. We have the story of our founder, Brahma Baba, and when they had moved to Mount Abu, there was this neighbor who every morning would come out and he would start insulting Brahma Baba. So he would use such harsh words, negative words, bad language. He would just use his name and keep insulting him. So one day, some of the sisters asked Brahma Baba that, don't you feel hurt? Don't you feel bad? Don't you want to reply back to him? He keeps on insulting you every day. And Baba's response was that the one who insults is our true friend because he's actually helping me build tolerance. He's teaching me how to build tolerance. Because the moment I get angry, the moment I lose my capacity to give, is when I'm intolerant. And when I'm tolerant, I'm able to remain stable. I am able to continue to keep giving, irrespective of what the person is giving me. If someone is giving something good, then it's not tolerance. I don't need to tolerate anything. The person is giving good. But if someone is giving me insults or something bad, can I still give back? The picture that we use for power to tolerate is a tree. Someone throwing a stone and the tree gives back a fruit. So giving back sweetness, giving back sweet words, giving back love. So that's tolerance. And then there's power to accommodate, which which is being flexible, being adaptable. Power to accommodate. The example is a river or or water. No? Water takes the shape of the container. Very, very flexible. The river knows how to curve its own path. No? And another example that's flexible and accommodate is to merge, right? To merge everything. Just like the river flows through, different places, gets all this dirt and everything, but at the end goes and merges into the ocean. And the ocean just embraces everything. No? The ocean embraces everything from the river, just merges everything. And when you go deep inside the ocean, we also find pearls. So, what is power to accommodate? Power to accommodate is being flexible, being adaptable, and power to merge. That means, do I have the capacity to transform, to merge everything, just not giving back, not giving back anything. I just merge it. So an example of power to accommodate is there's this classic story of the oak tree and a bamboo tree. Um, the oak tree is strong, sturdy, standing right there, deep roots, everything. And the bamboo tree is like this lanky panky little tree, but the bamboo tree sways and is flexible. So when the storm comes, what happens to the oak tree? The oak tree tries to resist it. The oak tree tries to survive the storm. The oak tree is becoming stubborn, fighting it. But the bamboo tree just tries to sway in the direction of the wind, being flexible. Hmm? So which tree will survive the storm? It'll be the bamboo tree, which is more flexible. So power to accommodate is that I'm flexible. I'm able to move in whatever direction. Sometimes people say that, oh, if I'm too flexible, people take advantage of me. If I'm too easy, if I'm too flexible, and I say yes, yes, yes to everything, people will take advantage. And that's why, in life, it's not just one power that I'm using, right? It's not just one virtue in our, that we have a whole list of so many powers and virtues. So we also need power to discern at the same time as I'm using power to accommodate. So if you see in life, all these powers go hand in hand, right? It's not that one day I only choose to do this. No, I choose multiple powers in a day. So I discern, I see, and then I am easy, I'm flexible. So I should know where I am flexible, where I need to be flexible, where I need power to face, where I need power to cooperate. What do I need to discern? So all the powers, if you look in our everyday, we need to use all of these 8 powers every day. And we have a few more powers to go. But all the powers, we need to use them every day because we are meeting so many people. We interact with so many people. We have so many situations, in personal life and professional life. or just in the world, in nature, everything. So there are all these powers, all these virtues are to be used. I cannot say that, oh, today I'm only going to use this one virtue or one power. So when we talk of power to merge or power to accommodate, it's also solution oriented. Power to accommodate is solution oriented. It's not just problem oriented. So um, we can go with the same example. If we have a coworker at work, and if you're sharing the office space, and the coworker has the habit of talking like really loudly on the phone, or types really tack tack tack, makes a lot of sound while typing or something, right? And on one hand, I'm being tolerant because now I I understand um that, okay, this is how she is. So instead of just cribbing about it and thinking that, oh my God, I have to tolerate 8 hours now, or even, dreading to go to work because now I have to share my office space with this person. I'm using power to tolerate, accepting, showering love. But when I use power to accommodate, I'm trying to actually change my attitude towards this person, or even as I'm addressing to her, I say that, um, sometimes I am, my work is this, and I really need to think through before I write emails or whatever, explain in a certain way. Today at our workplace, we had a workshop called Communicating with Empathy. And it's so interesting that we did an activity there, and many of them shared how so many times we think that we are good communicators, but actually good communication, what it requires is active listening. It requires empathy, requires compassion. I cannot be a good communicator if I'm just an orator. I'm just trying to speak, I'm just trying to get my point across. That's not being a good communicator. Communication is verbal, non-verbal. We communicate a lot through our body language, through our face. So when I talk about communication, it's so many things involved. So I'm putting my point, but also how am I how am I communicating? Do I shut people off? Do I just snob people off, right? Like, how am I communicating? So power to tolerate. No, I might say that, oh, I'm tolerating 9 times, but one time I have to snap back. Or I've accommodated every single time. Why do I have to accommodate all the time? Why do I have to make adjustments all the time? So again, when I'm thinking in this way, that why me, why I have to adjust, why do I have to tolerate, that means I'm truly not tolerating or adjusting. I'm only doing it out of compulsion. And then one day I will, like the rubber band, you keep on stretching it and then it breaks. So that's what happens. So true tolerance is love. True accommodation is being flexible. In workplace, there's a lot about accommodations right now. Accommodations with disability, accommodations with so many things, right? And the workplace has to offer the accommodation. But do I choose to offer an accommodation because it's a law? Or do I choose to offer accommodation because I want to help. I want that diversity. I want, if someone is brilliant at something and if there's a little accommodation I need to make, so I accommodate with that understanding. So what is needed to accommodate is understanding. compassion, empathy. Then I can truly accommodate. Otherwise, I'll try to fight it. So, stubbornness is not accommodating, but being flexible is accommodating. When I am stubborn, I try to fight. I'd heard this long ago. The more you resist, the more it persists. The more I try to resist a situation, the more I try to resist something, the more it will persist, the more it will keep coming back. Another example of in the Indian scripture of in Mahabharat, we have this story of Draupadi. I don't know if you know it, but when the Pandavas, so Draupadi was married to the Pandavas. So when the Pandavas were, gambling and they had lost everything that they had in that gambling, um, they actually, gambled their wife, who was Draupadi, and they lost her too in that gamble. So when the other side, which is the Kauravas, they said, okay, now that you have lost Draupadi to us, bring her to this court, and we need her here, and we want to insult her. So they demand that she should be brought in the court, and they try to insult her by stripping her off, stripping her sari, stripping her clothes. And Draupadi is in a shock, right? A wife. How can a husband gamble me? Who gives you the right to gamble me? She's in a state of shock. She's crying. She's pleading everybody, all the elders, everybody. Can't you give me justice? Can't you give me justice? She's trying to resist it. She's trying to resist it. But, there is the person is strong, physically strong, tries to pull her, and then she's trying to hold that sari, and she's like, no, 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 it's my um it's my prestige, it's my honor. And she goes to every person, but nobody is able to help her. And in the end, she thinks of Krishna. No, she thinks of Krishna, and she says, now you come and help me. I don't know what to do. And she lets go, and she just opens her arm to embrace Krishna, like, I surrender to you, and now you help me. And the moment she does that, this thing of surrender, it is shown that they're like saris upon saris. The one trying to strip her sari continues to do so, but she is protected. So power to tolerance and accommodate through even needs having faith in God. When I have faith in God, I know nothing can happen to me. I surrender to God, and then God takes charge. I'm not resisting. I surrender to God. I'm not surrendering to someone else, but my surrender is of a higher level, which is surrendering to God. And when I surrender, God protects me. So, becoming, and if we see in the world, people are losing their patience. More and more people are becoming intolerant. You know, I know so many people who we would talk about their tolerance and be like, oh, wow, they are so amazing. They have so much patience. But you see them now and they're losing that patience. The energy of the world is such, the energy of, the atmosphere around is such. And this atmosphere tries to pull us. And if I have not built my inner strength, inner power, it's very easy for me to get pulled into the negativity of the atmosphere. So, again, to build power to tolerance and power to accommodate, What I need is love. I need detachment, forgiveness. I need to be flexible, not rigid and stubborn, adaptability, but also merging. I need that power to merge. Solution oriented, not looking at only the defects of someone. One of the practices that we learn is that if I look at someone's defects, those defects will come into me. So merge the person's defects. But while merging, what I'm doing is I'm converting the defects into some speciality, or I share a blessing of that speciality with them. You know, no one is perfect. No one is perfect. Even if I come across a person who has nine bad uh, nine bad habits out of 10, but there's one goodness. Look at that one. That's called merging, where I'm merging the nine, but I'm holding on to that one good habit. And when I keep looking at that one good habit, my energy towards them is working from a place of the positive. And this is how I'm merging, but also I'm accommodating, and also I'm trying to build something for them. So I'm helping as well. So power to accommodate happens very inside. It's a very subtle power. It's a very subtle power where I'm transforming my perception, where I'm transforming my inner way of looking at a person. I'm transforming my way of approaching, my way of thinking, my attitude towards someone, because now I choose to merge my past experiences. I choose to merge my preconceived ideas or notions about that person. I choose to merge any assumptions that I have, and I choose to give the goodness. So that's called accommodating. Just as the ocean accommodates the river with all of its dirt and everything, and then at the bottom of the ocean there is pearl, because there's now space. There is the the capacity of the ocean to also give pearls, irrespective of what it's merging. The ocean can say, oh, what to do, all the rivers bring all the junk in me, I have nothing to offer. But ask people who go into you know scuba diving or deep under the ocean. It's a world. It's a beautiful world. There is silence. So both tolerance and accommodation need silence. It's an inner building. It's work inside. Okay. So power to tolerate, power to accommodate, usually with people, relationships. So we choose to use more and more of these powers. Okay, so let's take a moment, and I want you to visualize a relationship or a person whom you think that you've been tolerating for a long time. This person has a certain habit, and in your mind, you've tolerated that habit. And now I ask myself, have I truly tolerated? Have I used love Or am I tolerating because of some desire or attachment? Am I tolerating because I am helpless and hopeless? So today I choose to use tolerance as love, using my wisdom. I understand that we all have certain weaknesses, certain habits. Each one of us is influenced by our habits, by our sanskars. I use the understanding to forgive, to merge the negative habits of this individual. And I choose to look at their goodness. And as I think about them, or if they come in front of me, I only choose to see the goodness. I have merged all their negative behavior or weaknesses, but I look at them through the lens of wisdom and acceptance and compassion. Each one of us has the power to transform, and I bless them with this power. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Just today, someone was sharing with me that another example, if you're in India and you are getting late for work and you see yourself stuck in traffic, and it can be really bad. Sometimes you can just be stuck in traffic for like an hour, or even here sometimes, right? If you're going to New York or Chicago or some big city, you're driving, and when you're stuck in traffic, there's like nowhere to go because there are cars around now. There's nowhere to go. You're just stuck there. Now, being stuck in traffic, using power to tolerate and power to accommodate, is it easy? But I really have to detach from that situation. So when I detach from that situation and I only look at, the person practiced this, that they detached, they closed their eyes and said, okay, now I see that the traffic is moving. I know everyone is getting late to work, and I just hope we all reach work on time. I'm sending light, I'm sending, these vibrations to everyone. The traffic is moving, everyone in the front is moving. You keep creating these thoughts. Now, this is protection, right? For me too. Because otherwise, I'm just sitting there getting irritated and frustrated. But I can transform. And actually, the traffic started to move. The traffic started to move. And maybe you can practice, you can test this. You know, detach from the traffic, detach from the situation. Look what result you want to see, and then start visualizing it. It starts to happen. It starts to happen. So have a great week, and next week we will take another power. And since we are continuing this power series, so we'll choose another power. Till then, Om Shanti. See you. Shanti.
Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.